Cox Cable Channel 3.
In today's For Your Money, debt after death. They say you can't take it with you, but do credit card bills follow you into the grave? Does the debt die with you, or can it come back to haunt those left behind? Our legal affairs contributor, Craig Wisdom, joins us now. What happens to that credit card balance once you die if you didn't pay it off?
Well, like a lot of the legal answers, it depends.
Okay.
But it's not a situation, some people, there's a lot of misconceptions, and I've had people ask me that. That's why I came up with this topic. There's a concern, for instance, for people out there, they might be children and they know their parents have a great deal of debt and it's more assets that they own. And it's something that they're probably not going to be able to pay back while they're alive. So they're wondering, am I, as their child or their heirs, going to become responsible for their debt? And the answer is no, that doesn't happen. But on the other hand, what you owe other people when you die doesn't necessarily just disappear. It's charged against your estate.
What if you don't have an estate?
Then it disappears.
Then it doesn't follow you into the grave.
Exactly. Then those lenders probably made some more bad loans and shouldn't have given you those credit cards. But for instance, for people that do have money, part of the probate process and the administration is figuring out who is owed money. And in fact, if people don't come forward with claims within a certain time period, even if they had valid, debts, so sometimes credit card bills can be negotiated and things like that when someone dies, and sometimes people won't enforce their debts, so they do go away. But basically, it gets charged against what that person left behind. So you figure out what they own, you figure out what they owe, you pay off those debts, and if there's something left, it gets paid back to their beneficiaries.
So if most of the trust is in, say, real estate, then stuff has to be sold.
Exactly, and that's true for any sorts of debts or taxes and expenses and
who
things
does
like that.
I mean,
If the person has a will and they go through a probate, it's what we call a personal representative in Arizona. That used to be an executor and is still referred to that way in a lot of states. If it's a trust agreement, then it's the trustee that's got the obligation to pay all those debts, sell things, and get them out to the people that you want to benefit.
Yeah, I think a lot of people worry about that. If they have elderly parents who have a lot of debt, am I going to end up having to pay for all of that? But the answer is no, huh?
No, not unless they leave something behind for it to be charged
I guess this is a reason why it's so important, one of the reasons, to have a will.
Exactly, like many reasons. And hopefully this isn't the reason, because it's, you run into situations, but it's becoming a lot more prevalent. People die owing more money on their home than it's worth. And there may not be anything left for the family, but at least there's an orderly way to figure it out. And some things get paid before the other creditors, like funeral bills and expenses of administration. So we've helped some families where there really hasn't been much money and they know their parents owed a lot, but we were at least able to do a probate, get them paid back for the funeral expenses and things like that before the other creditors could get paid.
Okay, Craig, thank you so very much. Cleared that up for us. For your